All right. What's going on, everyone? This is a special edition that we're doing for this week. I'm actually out in Chicago, so the view is a little bit different, and I have a special guest with me, guest host, as I promised. Um, Tuck wasn't able to make it today, so I have Natalie here. She's
Hey everybody, how are you tonight? Hope
she's my cousin.
everyone's doing okay.
She's one of our co-hosts today. Before we get started, is everybody hearing me okay? Can everybody hear me okay? Please let me know in the chat box. Let me know you can hear me okay.
Is everyone hearing okay?
Yeah, it's good. Okay. So today's topic is about relationships. First of all, I just want to say that we have made it to episode number 5. I wish Tuck was with us right now, doing the show, but there were some technical difficulties that we couldn't get him on the line with us just because I'm in a different state right now, and we're not in our studio that we usually do the streaming from. But again, guys, today's topic is very important. It talks about relationships and how important it is to understand what a successful relationship could be. And many of you, we've asked before, what do you want to hear on the show? And you did mention relationships. So that's why we're bringing this topic up to you. And, hopefully you will be joining in with us, commenting through our chat box and, asking questions. We won't be able to take calls today just because, like I said, this is very simple software, live show that we're doing for this week. So we're not able to take calls, but we are able to read your chat boxes. But anyways, guys, today's, as I mentioned, it's relationships. So for many of you, ask yourself, what is a successful relationship? So go ahead and think about that question. I want to go ahead and introduce Natalie to you. Natalie, go ahead, say something. Introduce yourself.
Hey guys, my name is Natalie Toshaba, and I'm his first cousin. I live here in Chicago. I actually moved from Lebanon for like 5 years now, and I was actually in a long relationship. And the reason I'm here tonight is it's about talk about like relationship and like the situation that you go through in your life. And it was hard for me. And when I moved here, it was it was a big step because I had to decide between my relationship and between something bigger, which is my future. So it kind of like messed that up. So now we're here tonight to see like what are you guys thinking about like choosing between the relationship, between future, between problems, between age. So we're here to listen to you guys and see your suggestion.
I mean, what's better? Who's better to be brought into the show than a female to be talking about relationships? Because they say females are the most, emotional part of our relationship, but guys could be very emotional as well, and that's why I brought in Natalie because I'm pretty sure she has some stories to share with us as well. And I had another friend of mine that was gonna show up, but hopefully she's gonna be able to make it a little bit throughout the show. If she did, I'll bring her on the show as well and discuss the questions. But let's talk about long distance relationships, guys. Many times that when some of us do end up in a long distance relationship, the one thing that becomes hard is seeing the other person, being physically close to that person. Because a lot of times when you see them throughout the cameras, throughout social media, communicating with them, that's one thing. But when you're actually close to that person, getting that physical touch, hanging out, learning about each other, it improves the relationship better. And many times what I've seen going wrong is in relationships is communication. A lot of times you're texting that person, and sometimes those messages, you might be referring to something else, but that other person at the other end, they will understand it differently. So that's why it's important to find someone who is I believe, close to you, you know, uh, that's fine if he or she is an hour away, 2 hours away. That's fine. But I'm talking about those long distance relationships that are overseas, where you're not really close to that person, and um, just talking back and forth to that person. What do you think, Natalie? I mean, I know you did mention that you were in a long relationship, not a long distance relationship. But how did that go? Or have you ever been in a long distance relationship?
I get to the point that I cannot do it because I need to see the person that I'm with, because the relationship is communication, is how you guys communicate. Some people think that if there is love and love is strong, no matter how long the person is, like far distance, it doesn't matter. But for me, like, I need to see the person. Like, I need to feel him physically, emotionally. I need him to be there for me. So I think, like, for me, it's really hard because I've tried it twice, and the both times it didn't work out. And I don't know if you've been in that situation where you're like talking to someone that long distance, and like, what happened exactly with you if you were in that situation?
Um, I have been in a long distance relationship. uh, I've been in two long distance relationships. One of them, I really don't want to talk about it because it wasn't very successful. But it actually ended up you know, being a disaster. But I'm so glad that it didn't go too far. I'm so glad that I found out, in the beginning of the first couple of months that this wasn't the right relationship, and I should probably end it and move on, onto a different one, because, like I said, it didn't. What I thought was going to be a relationship didn't end up being very successful. So and the other one though, it was going pretty well. You know what I mean? Pretty well. But like you mentioned, it's difficult when that person is not, it's not right next to you. And I have one of my friend Tucker, who actually, well, Tuck, who's on our show. He actually, when we first brought in our first topic, which is fate and destiny, and how he talked to us about his long distance relationship, with his love of his life. I'm sure he's got a lot to say, and I wish we can put him on the phone so he can discuss, how that's going, because that would be something perfect to bring on to the show, because I think his actually is a very successful long distance relationship.
It would be a good advice for
Yeah,
us two young people to learn from a person that he's been through a lot,
yeah.
because
So it's definitely when you bring in people that have been through those situations, it will help others better understand, how to prevent situations that cause, people to, break up, divorce, especially married couples that are, thousands of miles distance, especially the ones that are we call them the newly brides. And as soon as they get married, then they go on and they you know either enlist in the military, or go on and find another job in a different country, and they're gone for about a year, 2 years, and then come back, and they expect that nothing has changed. Yeah, many of them, they're very successful, but majority of them, people just, you lose connection, you lose feelings.
But you
So
always, don't you feel yourself curious? If you look back in the days, I know like people, they're gonna be like, we're in 2017, but my main question is, and I don't know the answer, and I always try to figure it out. So I don't know if you guys can tell me, if Zaya, you can actually answer me. Why before, like, there was no communication, there was no cell phone, there was no Facebook, no Instagram? You could have communicated with your husband when he's in the military and when
mhm.
he's far away in war or doing something,
He's
and there was already like trust, loyalty. But now you don't find that. You don't find that at all. Like, I don't know, you feel like relationships are broken apart. You can you, two people, they cannot be together for so long. It's really hard. I don't know, I'm talking maybe
No,
from
I
my.
mean, I do see relationships, marriage relationships specifically, that people get married and you see them like a year or 2 years later, they're already broken up. So I do see where you're going with this, and before, like you mentioned, there was no cell phones, there were no cell phones, there were none of these social medias that are connecting people together, and I believe that part of why people are, you know, failing their communication and everything, that they're getting so attached to these social media, and they're becoming their feelings are becoming numb. Like the way that their physical feelings are becoming numb. So they're just getting used to that person through the messages. Like literally, I've seen people getting married just by talking through the camera. Like they get, like they meet somebody online, and you're talking them back and forth for like a couple of months, and there you are, you're getting married. And then once you end up meeting that person, they're like, whoa, you know, I never knew that this person, was this type, this person was this type. So it's very important also to live with that person before you even think about getting married. It's important to live with that person, you know. But certain cultures, certain traditions like mine, certain cultures, they don't believe in that. They don't believe in being with that person for a little bit before you actually go ahead and get married to that person. I mean, what do you guys think? Would you rather get in a relationship, get to know that person, know their bad habits, their good habits, understand the problems, and are the problems able to be met, to be fixed? Are the problem able to be discussed with one another? If not, then you know what? You just, you both of you, before, you get more involved in it, you just say, hey, I don't think this is working out, and I don't think we should push it far. So, but, another thing is, do you guys believe that two should just start talking together, not live together, like, that way you can get to know each other and then get married? Do you guys believe in that, or do you believe that a person should live with each other to understand? Because once you're married, you're combining houses, as we call it in a different culture. So, what do you guys think? What do you think, Natalie? Do you think that's
I mean, personally, my opinion, I'm not with two people living together. Like, even if they're dating, their boyfriend and girlfriend, they get actually engaged. Probably then it's a different story because probably they're going on a serious phase. But for me, I don't like two people to be living with each other because like that's here when we're losing everything. We're going like actually down because of what I was telling you earlier, like because everything is becoming so easy, so you don't why you have to commit to that person when you're actually having him with you in the house and when you're actually living with him. And so I don't think like people they should do that. I don't know, that's my opinion. I don't want anybody to get offended. It's just like because when everything is right in front of you, you don't want to try hard to get it, so I don't know if you guys know what I'm talking about, but it's literally when a girl, she knows what she wants and she set her boundaries. And she if the guy, he likes her, he would do whatever it takes to bring her to him. So
you know but Natalie, sometimes that cannot be true, because you did mention that a girl knows what she wants. But that's, I mean, I've been in a relationship, and I thought that the girl knew what she wanted, and I thought that we're both going good. Both of our, you know, we were both going to the same directions. But I end up being told after, a certain time, oh, hey, I wasn't looking for this, I wasn't looking for that. After leading me on for a certain amount of time and telling me, hey, I
was
wasn't.
it only her, or probably she saw that you were not ready too?
No, I was very ready. I was very ready. I was actually, everything was going so good. I mean, it wasn't like we were, you know, how do I put it? Like, it wasn't like I was ready to get married and all that. That will eventually would have come, but because we just barely started talking, like we were talking for 8 months, okay, and then everything was going so good. All of a sudden, and I've asked her before I even got to that point, hey, is this what you're looking for? Is this what you're looking for? So after leading me on for such a long time, then she's like, oh, this is not what I wanted. Then why did you say that you wanted it to begin with? Like, why did you say you wanted a serious relationship? Or Why did you, tell me that, oh, you're not looking to, have a one night stand or not that anything ever happened between us, but I'm just saying, like, it's just sometimes the girl doesn't even know what she wants. And same with guys. Guys don't even know what they want, and that's very important in the beginning of a relationship or in the beginning of something that's leading to a relationship. When you're dating, that's the important thing about dating. Asking the other person, hey, what do you really want? What do are you looking for something temporarily? Are you looking for something serious? So, what do you think, guys? Put some inputs on the chat. Let us know what do you think about what do we have spoken about so far. I want to give some shout outs to the people that are watching us. Let me see who's watching us. Shout out to Jack. Jack, what's up, buddy? Tucker, our host. Our host is here. He just wasn't able to get on on the show with us due to technical difficulties. Ori Vader, what's up, buddy? I agree with you. Communication is the key. Communication is the key. Cordaway, what's going on? Thank you for being on the show with us. And let me see who else is with us. Who else with us? Sanchez, thank you for the likes and all that. Haynes, thank you, buddy. Welcome on the show. Not much. What's going on with you? So anyways, guys, for those of you that are just tuning in, we are talking about relationships, what a successful relationship is, how a successful relationship is looked at. So go ahead and send us your input. Let us know, and let's get the show rolling. Who wants to be our main character for the night that we can interview on here through the chat box? So Tucker said, set your expectations in the beginning and go towards combined goals. Absolutely, Tuck, and that's what I just mentioned. Is when you are in the dating stage of something that's leading to a relationship. When you're in that dating stage, you do want to ask that person, hey, what are you looking for? Like if you're a guy and you're looking to just have fun and that's all, be honest with that girl. Don't lead her on and tell her that, hey, I want something serious, and then as soon as something happens to you guys, then boo, you get you disconnect. Be honest about that. Don't be I don't want to say a bad word on here, but like just be a good guy. Okay, and tell her that. And the same with the girl.
Yeah, there is like four types of
men. Same with the girl.
Like there's 4 types of men that I always say, and I always try to mention that for my friends. There's always a boy, a player, a confused man, and a real man. You always go on over those 4 type of men until you reach a real man, because you have to get your heart broken with a player that he doesn't care and he doesn't have time for you, and he actually, because you have plenty of women around him, until you get to the real man that he already is ready to commit. He believes in God, because the man, when he actually forget about his religion, he's gonna forget about his commitment with the lady that she's gonna be actually the one and only the rest of his life. So for me, I think there's 4 phases of men. Yeah. With all my respect to all men.
Yeah. Vader said, we give up too early, stick with traditions such as marriage, and rely on fam bam and religious fam for support to get through the hard times. Vader, that's true. You're right. Some people, we do give up too early. And, with as far as traditions and all that, as I did mention, earlier, like some of our traditions, they don't believe in living with that person for a while before even getting married to that person, So they do believe that after you're married, then you can actually live with that person and then find your your bad habits, your good habits. I find that very, very wrong, because if you haven't discussed a certain problem during the time of dating, during the time of you guys living together, and seeing if it's manageable or if you're able to resolve it, then what makes you think that you're going to be able to resolve it after you're getting married? All you're doing to yourself is causing, a huge headache, causing an embarrassment to your family and her family, and that's all. But if you're somebody who's, independent, who doesn't really care about your family and your, what other things, then if you don't believe in a tradition and all that, then yeah, I mean, you can go that route. But like I said, our traditions bother, they stop us from, doing what I just mentioned. So honesty, loyalty. What do you? Hey, Jack said, hey, I got a question. What do you do when a close friend is in a bad relationship and you want to help him out, but he believes everything is fine? I guess it depends, Jack. What do you mean by in a bad relationship? What do you mean in a bad relationship? Like, do you think that his girlfriend is cheating on him? Do you without him knowing? Or if it's cheating, then you have to let him know right away. And I don't care how much it's gonna hurt, how much it's gonna suck, but that friend will appreciate you after. So is it cheating or what is it? Or you just think that girl just playing him? Courting someone has pretty much turned into hookups. Oh, so it's a trust issue. Has he done anything before that caused her to feel that way? Because that's the only way that somebody becomes so jealous to where they get all your information. Has she caught him cheating before? For those of you that are just tuning in, go ahead and send us, your questions and comments on our comment box. We are discussing relationships and what a successful relationship is. Also, if you can, go ahead and share this video with your friends and family. Share the knowledge. Have them come on in, discuss their opinion, and let us know what what their thoughts are on relationships and a successful relationship. Okay, so never. Well, you might just, is it something that you're seeing is bothering him, or is he liking the fact that she's so jealous? Do you think he's bothered by it, or what do you think? Heidi, Joseph, Jason, Stogner, welcome, buddy. Hernandez, welcome on the show. For those of you that are tuning in, welcome everybody. Shout out. Acosta is on with us. Nahren, you're on the phone with us as well. Welcome. Haynes said, you gotta make time for each other and not have kids too early. Kids should be after you have established a marriage and are stable financially, religiously, and emotionally. Great point, Haynes. That's a great point you made. A lot of people, when they first get married or they get in a serious relationship, the first thing that they think about, well, how about we, bring kids? That's probably going to bring us close to each other.
I wanted to mention that earlier, but I was waiting for the
right
time. And
what if we bring kids? That's going to bring our relationship. Wrong, guys. Wrong. Because as soon as that kid comes into the picture and you guys are still having issues together from before that you did not resolve, and thinking that bringing a kid will resolve those issues, that's wrong. That's totally wrong. Because now you're not only risking your relationship, but you're risking the fact that you have a baby on the way, and that baby will end up without without both parents together. And that's wrong, because now why would you do that to the baby? So no, don't jump into getting, I want to get kids early. Don't do that. Don't do it. If you're not ready, don't do it. Don't do it. Although having kids is a great feeling, but don't do it. If you're not ready, do not do it. Oh man. Hang on one second.
Much me.
Sorry about that, guys. I forgot to, like I said, I'm not at my house, so I don't know what's ever going on around this house right here. So the phone just rang. But again, yeah, do not do it. If you're not ready, do not do it. Let's take the next question. Yeah, I have a friend who has a maid. Hey, Heidi, good question, but we'll discuss that later. I'll direct message you about that, so we'll talk about it later. Sandy, let's see. Sandy says, and when one of the people in the relationship has a child or children, it's very hard to make things work out. It takes very special people to make it work. Absolutely, Sandy, and that's what that's what I just wanted to bring out is if you're dealing with a difficult relationship and you don't have kids yet, don't think about getting kids to resolve the issues. Do not do it. Do not do it. I'm sorry to say this, but you are being a douche because you're trying to use a kid to resolve your issue. If you can't, both of you resolve it together as an adult, okay? Don't do it. Don't bring the kid. No.
That won't work. Actually,
Exactly.
make it worse.
Yeah. He is losing the respect of others around him, but he doesn't see it. He went from confident to glued to his girl. Confident to glued to his girl. That's hard, Jack. I mean, if he really is into this girl and if he's truly loving this girl, and if she truly loves him, yeah, jealousy is a bad thing. Especially you telling me that she has him on 24 hours, 7 days a week surveillance. That's terrible. That's terrible. So I think how you can help him out is try to not be against his relationship. Never be against his relationship, because if that guy loves his girlfriend so much, he's going to turn on you. And you don't want to be the bad person that's trying to, help out your friend, but at the same time, you don't want to be negative. Just be positive, be equal. Don't be negative, don't be positive. Just, state your opinion. Just don't say do this, do that. Just like, hey, what I think is you should sit down with your girl, let her know, be like, hey, there's no need for you to, be so jealous or not so trusting, because I've never done this and never done that. I'm doing, whenever I tell you I'm doing this, I'm here. Whenever I'm doing that, I'm here. So there's no need for you to be that jealous. Like, just let him, tell her that, hey, I really care about you. I really love you. And I just don't see us being in the stage where you're watching me 24/7. Like, have him just sit down and have a talk with her. Just tell him, be like, this is my advice. Not that I want you to break up or any of that. Just have them sit down and have a talk. That's all. Hang on, let me see. Okay, Tucker said, never let a relationship take complete control over you. It will never last and can wind up actually making those involved trust issues and anything. Yeah, absolutely. Never do that. Never try and let a relationship take control of you, because it's all gonna end up going bad. Be open with your other half. Be open with them. Let them know everything. Be honest. Never lie, because if you start a relationship with a lie, it will.
And always be yourself. Always. Don't you ever pretend that you're someone else, because when you're who you are, the person, they should love you no matter what you are.
Okay, so Vader said, gonna try to explain. Say you move in with someone to try things out. See if you fit. After a month, things get hard or harder, and we have no real commitment to this person or their family. No foundation from which to lean on during those times. So while my belief in courting is old school, it starts a positive process from which we can rely on in tough time, which every relationship has. So if court someone you're interested in, meet the. I think I meet the fam, bam, get to know them, get to know their life. Yeah, and that's also important. Water, what you just mentioned is very important because a lot of times, depending on how your family are, how your family, how your family think, how your family believe, you always want to know, well, I need to get to know the other person's family. That way, I want to make sure that my family will communicate well with the other family. That's also important. Probably we didn't talk about it, but it's also very important. If you're planning on being with this someone for a long time, yeah, it's very important to know their parents. See if if everything is gonna be going good. So, let's see. Oh, okay. For those of you that are just tuning in, what's going on, guys? We are talking about relationships. What makes a successful relationship? Go ahead and send us your questions, your comments through this box. The next point that I want to talk about when it comes to relationships is, which we just talked about a little bit. When is the right time to have kids? During a relationship, when is the right time? So
During a relationship.
yeah, like
I feel like for me, I would, like as you said earlier, if I'm not ready, I would not have kids. And I'm at the age right now, I'm 28, and I would not like to have kids, if me personally, until I get married, because I feel like that's when I'm ready. Before, I don't think I would be anytime ready, because I feel I still need time, and I know that for sure. Probably because I didn't met the right guy yet, but as you said earlier, I agree with you 100%. If you're not ready, don't bring kids to this world.
yeah,
And I'm
and
totally with you.
yeah. So, like I said, a lot of people, what they do is, they quickly jump into, hey, I'm ready to have kids. No, you're not. No, you're not. If you start a relationship, you get into a relationship, you get married, and that only took 1 year, you are not ready to have kids. Because believe me, sometimes they say things that start out so quickly will end out very quickly.
Yeah.
And that's why it's very important to take your time when you're trying to get to know somebody. Take your time understanding that person, understanding their, goods and bads. And then if you both, you think that you are ready, then go ahead, get married. But after you get married, also take at least at least 3 years, 4 years, remain without any kids. Just because, let's do 2 years. Let's say just 2 years. Remain without kids. Don't just jump in right away and getting kids, because you still want to hang out with that person, travel with that person, do things with that person. That's another important thing. You want to be able to spend some time with that person, because as soon as you have kids, the responsibility starts.
Yeah,
And
but
then you
here
become.
I kind of a little bit disagree with you. The reason why is like when a person like he's in like a girl, especially for a woman, she's in her 35, she get married. She doesn't want to wait, because like for us women, we don't want to wait that long to have kids. She still can do that with her kids, with her family. I know, I understand you're saying to travel and go around, but that's the thing that I was trying to tell and explain. If I'm with someone, I would rather do that before I get married, because when I get married, I know myself, this is the person that I want to be with, and this is the person I want to have family with. So at least a year for me, I would have a kid, and then you can still do that. I know, understand it's going to be hard for the first year or two,
Yeah, but just think about this. As soon as you're going to have a kid, your responsibilities will start, okay? Because even after getting married, a lot of people, they get married and then they get kids and boom, like their relationship become like, oh, I love you too, and all that. But the most important thing about a relationship is doing things with the other person. And that's why I say, after you get married, still do the normal things that you used to do, before you guys got married. Still travel together, still hang out together, still, go on your little dates. Just, my opinion, just don't get kids right away. Just wait a little bit. Give it a year or two, and then have the kids. Make sure that you are ready for it. Because when you divorce, then that kid becomes I don't know, without both parents being in the picture, and that mentally affects the kids. A lot of us don't understand that. They think that, oh, when I have a kid and I leave the other person, oh, my kids will be okay, they'll be happy for me. Yeah, certain situations, yes. Like there are some situations where there's no other way of fixing the issues, because you got with the wrong person, you didn't know that, or you were blind to see that person was very bad. You get with that person, you have kids, and then things go wrong. And you try for so many years to fix the issues, but then you're like, you know what, I give up. Yes, that's understandable. But if it's just something simple as, hey, I don't like this, I don't like that, and then you end up saying, oh, whatever, you don't like it, then divorce me. You're not going to be successful parents, trust me.
Yeah, I know. It's such an easy word these days. Like, okay, divorce. Like, just like, I mean, I think like this is gonna be like another topic, like, cause this is a whole different conversation, like right now, cause like it's just so easy these days, like just to say the word divorce, like just that's it. Like the problem is solved. They don't think about the consequences for the kids, the problem that they're gonna put them through, like for the rest of their life. I don't know.
Yeah. What are some of you guys' thoughts on this? Let's see, Tucker. Tuck, that was funny. Yeah, so we did have, for those of you that are tuning in and they don't see Tucker sitting next to me, yeah, we did have technical difficulties, and we weren't able to get him on the show just because I'm on vacation right now. I'm in Chicago. This show is being hosted live from Chicago. That's why, the background is a little different from how it normally is. But next week, we are definitely going to be, on our show, from our studio. And next week's topic is definitely going to be very important. For those of you that are tuning in, next week's topic is definitely going to be very, very important. It's about suicide prevention and how we can help preventing suicides. We are going to have two people come up on the show, and they're going to be joining us, and we will be interviewing them. And for those of us that have families in law enforcement, are law enforcement, or served in the military and going through certain problems, then you can tune in. You can have them tune in through the show. We're gonna have people talk on the show next week, and they will provide you help. They'll provide you options and ways of how you can seek help. And you have to understand that you are not alone. So that's why next week's topic, we're doing it. It's because we want you, the viewer that are watching, to tune in, find out different options to prevent suicides, and help those that are in need. So that's going to be next week's topic. But for today's topic, it is about relationships, and I still want to take a few more questions before we're going to go ahead and cut the show short today, just because, like I said, we're doing just a special edition. We wanted to come live online and let you guys know that we're still going to continue on no matter where I'm at, no matter what we're doing. We're still going to be doing our show every Thursday at 6 p.m. And that's a promise that me and Tucker, we brought up in the beginning, of our first episode, that no matter what happens, our show will still go on every Thursday at 6 p.m. So let's see. So 3 people, 2 calls. 3 people. Okay, Tuck. I guess we are interviewing 3 people. I didn't know that. Okay. For those of you that are joining in, welcome. Great shout outs for you. I appreciate you tuning in with us. Natalie, what other thoughts do you have? I know this is how do you like our show being our first time on the show?
That's actually.
What do you like about it? What do
Yeah.
what are some of your
Hopefully, what I said didn't get offended, or like what I said was good for some of the women out there, and like hopefully I did good. I don't know. I don't want to miss Tucker, because I know Tucker is actually good at this. That's what I heard.
Hey Tucker, this is the girl version of you, Tuck.
So.
No, honestly, nobody will get offended. That's the fun thing about our show and the people that watch the show is because this show was created for people to be comfortable sharing their opinion. Um, sharing their opinion, letting us know what they feel like, and nobody will get offended because we're all here discussing these topics, and many of us are sharing their opinions. So nobody will get offended. We do appreciate you being on the show with us, though, replacing Tucker.
Thank you.
Let's see. Yeah, Tucker said you did a fantastic job.
Thank you. Appreciate it. I don't know, like we need more questions.
Okay, so Jack asked, he's like, I've been told that it's best to love with your head rather than with your heart. What do you think about that? Okay, Jack, that's I see that happening. And the meaning behind that is when you're loving with your head, and what they mean is a lot of times you try, and when you're letting your heart decide a situation, just like with your friend, for example, that's a great example. So your friend, I'm pretty sure he loves this girl with all his heart. Like he loves her with his heart. But if he was loving her with his head, or like you just mentioned, he would probably understand that, hey, I need to tell her this. I need to have her stop this jealousy problem. And if it doesn't stop, then I try to find other ways. If those other ways don't work out, then probably we're not meant to be together, or we're not meant our relationship to be forward. That's the difference. So many people are different. They think differently. So we can't really say that person should love this way or should love this way. Just be equal.
Because as we said earlier in the show, like you have to feel the person emotionally, physically. So that means like you have to love him from your heart, not just like your head. So you have to be with someone, and all of you can. So that's how you can feel it, and that's love. You cannot just think about it as in your head or just in your heart.
So I guess Jack gave us an example. I'm in love with someone, but the family doesn't accept her. What do I do? Cordaway said, no, love with your heart, all of it. And then she said, you keep peace with your family. They have to respect your decision. They really love you. And that's true. That's very true. I love my family so much, and they know that. But I tell them one thing. You can make decisions as far as, you can make any decision in my life, but some things that you can't make decision is what I choose to go to school for, what I choose to work. And the third thing, which I would say is the first one, is who I want to get married to or who I want to be in a relationship with. Okay? I'm definitely not going to bring someone that I know that comes from, a background that my parents won't communicate with. I definitely will not do that. But I'm just saying that it's very important to let your family know that, hey, I respect you so much, but you cannot make the decision of who I want to be in love with. And to many traditions, many cultures, as we mentioned 2 weeks ago when we talked about traditions and cultures, some people have no choice. Some people, their love is chosen for them, and that's the way that they're raised. But my parents, having a clear communication with your parents, not being so rude about it, just telling me like, hey, I appreciate what you're doing, but you gotta understand that this is my life, and I'm the one that's going to make decisions. So I hope that answers your question, Jack. But can the family see something that I cannot see? Can I believe blind by that I'm missing? Um, yes, yes. And that's how one of my relationships was brought up to me, that this is not the right one for you because of this and that. But I refused to believe it. I refused to believe it. That those things or those accusations that we're making, oh, this is not the right person because of this and that, I refuse to believe it. One thing about me, and I'm sure you are the same way, Jack, is I will have to see with my own eyes. I'll have to believe with my own self those accusations that being made, my family telling me, or this person not right for you because of this and that. I have to see with my own eyes, like, well, is it true? Is it not true? And then I'll be like, okay, well, maybe this is not the right person. I'm just that way.
Yeah, like try to discuss with your family, Jack. Like try to ask them what is the wrong? What's wrong with the girl? Like what's the problem that they are seeing that you cannot see? And try to look at it too. Like don't like agree with whatever they are saying. Just look at her problem and try to figure out what is it? What is the problem with her? You know?
Cordoway said, I love my family. I've been blessed to have amazing daughter-in-laws, but even if I didn't approve, I would not voice to my sons. In the end, they will choose to love. Exactly, Cordaway, and that's what I'm trying to talk about. Like when it comes to family, interrupting your love, love relationships, or your, when it comes to love and who you love, and you have to let them know. You have to say, hey, I respect you, I love you, but you cannot interfere with my love life. Okay, that's something that I get to choose. That's a person that I get to choose, and that's how a successful relationship will be. It's not by letting your parents choose for you who you want to be with. It's through you choosing who you want to be with and understanding that person.
Okay.
You can, but that's all part of love. We have to have. Yeah, yeah, that's true. I think you're talking about the fact when I mentioned that I have to, prove those accusations before deciding and saying that, hey, my parents were right. So I do understand what you're saying, Cordaway. But anyways, guys, for those of you that are still tuning in, we have about 10 more minutes, fairly 10 more minutes. If you do have any more questions, go ahead and send them in the chat box. We are still going to take like a question or two, and I'll search. Sorry, just tuned in.
Yeah. We're gonna say hi to Serge from Australia.
Yeah, Serge. What's going on,
He's my
buddy?
brother.
He's tuning in with us today, and all the way from Australia. And we asked every one of you to keep continuing on sharing this video. Let your friends, family know that there's a great show in town. It's called Hot Topic with Z and Tuck. And like Tucker says, and this is his favorite line, the topic gets hotter than hell every week. Next week's topic,
like that.
yes. Next week's topic, guys, again, it's talking about suicide prevention. And we will be bringing three individuals that will be talking about, talking about certain, certain ways of like options for those people that are in need, and you can offer that help to them. They might not know about this show, and that's why you need to let them know, hey, you need to tune in next week, Thursday at 6 p.m. Because the show is all going to be about you. It's about how you can seek help.
And don't forget to share, and share, as Tuck said.
Cordaway, I'm sorry to hear that. Wish they probably would have tuned into this show next week before that would have happened, but sometimes you can't really stop it. But guys and girls, there's a lot of things you can do instead of just giving up and committing suicides. That's why next week's show is very important. So let your friends and family, whoever is in need, or others that are not in need, but they can help those who might become in need. Let them know about the show. Share this show. You can share it through Facebook. Also, you can share our page, our Facebook page. We have Hot Topics with Z and Tuck. It's all one word. Share it and have them like the page, and they'll be able to view this live show every Thursday at 6 p.m. So, oh, yeah, and like Tucker mentioned, for those of you that want to hear about a specific topic on the show, go ahead and let us know. Go ahead and let us know in the chat box what do you want us to be discussing in the next couple of weeks. Okay, and then we'll prepare that topic. We might get people to come on the show because we always love to have people on the show, and that's the most important thing about the show because it's all about you. So we always love to bring people onto the show and have them, join us and discuss their opinions.
So it was actually a great honor for me to be with you guys actually today. I know I missed it. I couldn't meet Tuck, but hopefully one day I'll be with you guys in one of your episodes. And
well, you're gonna be visiting Phoenix, Arizona soon, right?
Soon, yeah.
So definitely you guys gonna see her again on this show, and this time it's gonna be from our studio. So I know Tucker might be laughing right now. He's probably asking himself, where is she gonna fit? Because our studio is very big, right, Tuck? Our studio is very big in Phoenix, Arizona.
We'll make it happen.
It will make it happen. I'm actually working on expanding the studio. So for those of you that want to come up on the show, come to the studio and be live on the show. You're more than welcome to, and you can bring any topics with you. So, but we only have a few minutes left. I just want to say I appreciate all that tuned in, all those that asked questions and joined, and shared this video, hopefully. I don't know who shared it. Nobody looks like shared it, but I would hope somebody shared it.
Thank you, Tucker.
But yes, guys, next Thursday, 6 p.m., Tucker is going to be back with us live because I'm going to be back in Phoenix, so he's going to be live back with us. And we are going to be talking about suicide preventions. Like I said, you can go ahead and send us your thoughts, your feedback on what you want to see on the show next, and we'll go ahead and schedule it, find the perfect time to talk about it. Also, we'll try to get people that might be discussing that topic with us, might share their opinion. But also, after suicide prevention, we are thinking about talking about real estate, because many of us that are just starting their own life and they're trying to buy a house. That's another important topic that we want to talk about. So if you do like that topic, go ahead and let us know. We are going to be talking about real estate, and we are going to have a special guest that will talk to us about how you can be a successful homeowner. So if you don't have any other questions, what happened to Buddy Boy? Yeah, Buddy Boy, you were the best, bud, but you need to move to Arizona so we can bring you back on the show. It's gonna be Z, Buddy Boy, and Tuck's show if you come to Arizona, but I'll have to get that approved from Tucker. But anyways, guys, thank you for tuning in. I really do appreciate it. It was an honor to have you all on the show. Natalie, I do appreciate you being on the show with us. And hopefully we'll see you again next week, Thursday at 6 p.m., guys. Don't forget, it's going to be a great topic to be discussing. So until then, you guys have a wonderful day. We'll see you. To